Saturday. I was up late last night, but because it's such a pretty day, I woke up early. And I thought we would talk about let's talk about the narrative that the media always plays there for you. Maybe we could talk about some gematria, some interesting coding. Let's talk about Wendy Williams. Let's talk about open states in the United States, such as Florida. For for anybody who doesn't know, that's Florida. Um, Mississippi, Texas, and now Alabama. Florida, Mississippi, Alabama. Oh, there's where I live right there. Louisiana's right there, and then Texas. It's not open here. We'll talk about that too, just because. But here's what. Let's talk about controlled opposition and the narrative. Let's talk about why is Wendy Williams the one that is now being she's the outright outspoken. Um, well, here's the thing: is if you listen to the media, she's in the minority. If you listen to the media, I would think she's in the majority, but you wouldn't be able to tell that. But why her? Why Wendy Williams? What's up, yo? Yamarasha. So why is it Wendy Williams? If you don't know who that is, take a quick gander at her and just her in general. You understand. She's an outspoken critic of the jabby walkers and the whole thing. And she even said something. Dr. Oz was on her show because he's not any part of the narrative. No, he's a good doctor and he always helps people. Yeah, he knows all the good things, right? So why is she against it? Because she's already would be considered a little cuckoo, a little crazy, anyways. So what happens? She's against it. Doesn't get the because she goes, I don't get the flu shot, and I don't get the flu. I don't trust the new thing that they're trying to test out. And so what's the end result? Now did she are people in Hollywood and in the any part of the media, any part, are they becoming are they starting to become outspoken critics of the system that they're part of? Are they allowed to? Are they doing it on purpose? Or are they just letting it fly because, let her think that because we'll just tell her in about it's 2 weeks that she came down with the sickness. There you go. That's all I got to do. So would it be cool if more of these actors and celebrities just said, "Oh man, this is absolutely ridiculous what's going on. It's ridiculous what they're doing, what they're saying, them included." But now is Wendy Williams the same type of thing that Texas is? It's the same idea. Just follow here. So Texas opens up and says no more masks. This is all stupid. Mississippi, Florida's already been on it. What are they going to do? Open it back up, right? And then guess what? In a month or less, there's going to be a spike in all of the told you so, you stupids. Look at you, stupid. We told you. Just wear a mask. Close down the city again. Close down all of those states again, right? Is that what happens? How can they control the narrative when the pop narrative is the only thing? And if you look at the dates they opened on, well, they choose dates on purpose, which makes you go, oh, they're part of the thing. They're part of the narrative. I mean, do they know? Did the people in the states themselves? Do they the people running the governors and do they know really deeply what's going on? Or are they just following their go okay, screw it. I guess that's what you want to do. You want to secede. You don't want to be part of the federal government. You don't want to. Yeah, we'll be our own state. I mean, are they doing that? great, cool if they are, I guess, go for it. That's totally rad. Rock on. But the pop narrative will be what? Same thing to all these other. Look at what do you think? Even if Trump was anti, if he wasn't part of the cabal, which okay, if you say so. But what happened when he said the whole thing was foolish? It was all fake. It was all hoax, right? But a week later, he's not wearing a mask. What happens? He comes down with the sickness, right? Now, of course, doesn't he just come right out of the hospital in 3 days? But like, what? Why was he 3 days went in and did what? And then all of a sudden he's fine. I mean, I was listening to a couple. I was listening to a couple broadcasts today from some football players, and they on their own time doing a podcast with somebody that is not in the league anymore, who is one of the greatest football players to ever play, who used urine therapy. Was in the Shivambu Kalpa. Chad Ochocinco. He did an interview with some people, and they were talking about certain people that had come down with the sickness, and they couldn't play. And the person was saying, I was sitting there, because you got to quarantine for 2 weeks or whatever. This is what they make them do. And he's like, I'm sitting there for days going, how am I supposed to, am I supposed to be sick? What am I supposed to? And then somebody chimes in, that's asymptomatic. He's like, the only thing that ever happened, like, they told me I was so sick. And the only thing that ever happened, he's like, I had a little bit of trouble with sniffles. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't smell so good. It's like, other than that, no, nothing. Wow, it seems so dangerous, huh? So nonetheless, cool broadcast. I highly suggest go watch it. It's like clues into a lot of things, and you don't know what kind of things where they have to, like what things they're allowed to speak freely on and what things they cannot. But they surely can't come out and say that the game is rigged. Can't say that, but they can say a lot of other things. There is a couple dudes that came out and said that after their career they said, "Oh, it's completely all a sham." Very funny, interesting. So, there's a lot of games they play by using, the entire, the other arm of the government, the media, right? Even Reagan told you, and oh no, it wasn't Reagan. It was Senior, George Senior, said we wouldn't have been able to do anything. We wouldn't have been able to accomplish what we were trying to do. We'll make this new world order happen. Yeah, it was thanks for the media for allowing us to, like, what's happening here? Is anybody listening? Literally just right in your face, and you're just like, oh, I didn't mean anything by it. You don't think that next arm of the government, what tactics and games do they play? I mean, they already control the popular narrative, the popular media, and so from there they use a bunch of different psychological things on the population to control people's perception of things. Because really, what does anybody ever have? Nobody has the facts on anything. I don't have the facts on anything. I'm not claiming I do. Do I think I know a little closer to what perhaps is going on in the world? Probably I do. I wouldn't speak if I didn't think so, but everybody has their perception. But they massage and manage people's perception of what's going on. And they massage people's what they think they see. It's like, now you see me here, look over here. It's a magical psychological game. And they use so many basic tricks, and nobody even sees it happen, and you point it out and they go, no, that's not what they meant. Like, where do you think these people went to school? Where do you think they were trained at? Did you ever read a book? How to Lie with Statistics? You read a book on any documentaries, any talk to sociologists, psychologists, like, they use so many logical fallacies, but nobody follows them. You could point them out all day, but because people they're not looking for that. They're just like, oh, they said this and this, and there's what that equals. They use redundancy. They use so many things. And you know what? Because, and they don't have to do anything else. Nobody, like, they don't, there's nothing else they need to do. They already control the media. Like, so, and because people are going to just listen and believe what they see there, there's nothing else anybody needs to do. They just sit there and just put the little act on, say a couple things, and whatever they want to say, and then go catch their money, go off and take trips and hang out, wear masks. They've always been wearing masks. That's why I don't think they really care that other people are. The masks they've been wearing are different. Yeah, I wonder if if the world waking up, if 2020 was perfect vision and people are starting to go, this is not okay, this is not cool. If people in those types of societies and how far can they go against the system before they're just ridiculed and ostracized, and then they lose their what you'd consider popular credibility. So like somebody like Wendy Williams, is she massaged into doing that? Is she yeah, go ahead and yeah, of course, let her say that, and then they'll just control the narrative by, look at, now she's got it, see, stupid, wasn't wearing a mask, doesn't believe in that, do it with all the open states. And what else could they do too? Oh, the whole thing morphed. They morphed it into a new strain. That's what I'm talking about. New strains. Oh, they can do that. They could do that. You realize they could do that infinitely, forever. At what point people are like, this is absolute not what's up, excrement? What point would people go, okay, that's gonna be enough of that. Seen that show already. That's been going on for a long time. I would have figured within, I don't know, 6 months people would have noticed. At first I was like, all right, give it 2 weeks. And I was like, all right, 3 months. And I'll be like a year into this. Huh? People still ain't, nope, not getting it. What up, Macman? What up, Macman? The emperor has clothes, but this is never ending. Good way of putting it, right? Well, at least in the never-ending story, there it's a positive thing, and the story can change. And eventually, the child brings out, and the emperor is wearing no clothes. But yeah, I wonder about like how many people will like just go F the narrative, F the system, F their societies. I know that's like it's like people that are born into a caste system. That they're born into. They're gonna be. Their father was a doctor, so they'll be a doctor. And his name was the first. His name was junior. His name was senior, junior, the second. The thing, all that kind of bullshit. We'll be part of the lineage, and this is what we do. And here we got lots of money and all of the good things, and would you throw that away for all of these people? for integrity, for honesty, for truth, for authenticity? Would you trade all of this away? Nobody would. Could you? If you were born into billions, would you? Royalty, nice cars, just anything you want, anytime you want, anywhere, just anything. Just get up to be a commoner, gutter snipe, struggling. I haven't listened to this kind of fucking chimmer, like in your watch anything. If you ever watch TV, like, oh, I know what they're saying. It's all bullshit. Yeah. Would you give it up? No, I don't think you could. I don't think most people could. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people that are born into these born into it. How do they get out of that? So what hope does the average everyday schmuck What hope do they have to even overcome the? It's not odds stacked against. The game's completely rigged. I think you can't win a rigged game. It's not that, I mean, what is winning? I don't know, but I don't know, man. Fun times. I wonder. I do wonder how many. What is the like? Everybody's always out there like, if we just all stand up and unify, and their game will be over. What does that mean, though? Stand up and unify? Okay. Hey guys, you want to stand up and unify? What a bunch of like cheerleading, just mouthpieces for who? Okay, so why did that happen? Nobody. People out there saying the shit. People out there on their soapboxes. They got channels. They're saying the truth, whatever they believe it to be, their perception, uh, their truth, which happens to be of a higher order than what they're being sold, packaged, shoved down their throat by the. How do you? But nothing's happening. Okay, is everybody out here ready to tell the system to go? You know, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean to the population? So you want me to go against my job, which is stupid to begin with, but make no money. Okay, now I can't feed my kids and my wife. Oh, this sounds like a good idea. Also, Breakfast of Champions. Ginger beer. Well, ginger ale. With real cane sugar. Boiling. Haven't had this in a while. I might add a little bit of... Oh, it's already lemon, lime, and ginger. Nice. I was just going to add a little more lemon, but lemon, lime, ginger. Yeah, good stuff. I didn't know what time I should start with a mixed drink. I'll start with that. I do have some vodka prepped from last night that I had. What is up, excrement? I don't know. Just babbling here. Considering the fun conversations you could have, just in general, which don't have, these don't happen too much in public anymore. That's kind of dried up. But online, you get to have really cool typing battles with people. That's fun too. Some carbonated water and pineapple juice. Pineapple juice is juice is dope. It's good for if you have a cold. Apparently, the studies they've done, it's as good as anything for getting rid of symptoms of a cold. Sore throat, coughing, all that shit. It's by like a lot. But who's gonna believe that? I just need medicine from a doctor. It's pineapple juice is what? I mean, answer me this. Why is it the only juice that you cannot find in a regular bottle? It always comes in that dull tin can. I don't want my pineapple juice in a tin can. Can you put it in plastic or glass or something else for me? I don't want that tin can. I don't want that tin can. I want to be able to drink it and put the top on. I just don't want to. What is that? It's frustrating. So you can just buy all the tiny little tin cans, the ones that's quite not enough to drink? It's like not enough juice? You think the only time that people want pineapple juice is in a mixed drink? Not true. I like pineapple juice. Would I prefer it to be mixed with something else? Yes, because it can be a little too sharp, a little too acidic, but pineapple juice, maybe pineapple and apple. There you go, pineapple apple. Great hookah flavor too, pineapple apple. You guys are into smoking hookahs. Shisha. So that's what I would like to do. I'd like to go smoke some shisha. I'd like to go to a hookah bar. That's what I would like to do. What's the chances of that happening, though, huh? Don't think any are open. Can't have people, like, breathing around each other. That would be crazy. Can't have people socializing. Can't have people gathering. Why would they do that? What else? What else? So yeah, I get up and then I look at all of the silly information that's being spouted on. It's like they literally don't care what they say anymore, because people are still going to listen and believe it. It could be anything. I've read some of the craziest headlines, and I know that people believe it. And I even go through the article and be like, you realize how none of this article makes any sense. They just go ahead, just put 100 monkeys in a room, because eventually what do you put 1,000 monkeys in a room for, a million years, with typewriters, and eventually they'll type Shakespeare. You know what I mean? Coffee. You're gonna make me want coffee right now. You're gonna make me make some coffee, aren't you? Coconut milk, raw honey. Oh, it's very funny. If you look up that word, it means something else. It wasn't him misspelling coffee. It was him putting something else. It means something else. Pretty funny if you look it up. I had to do a little research on that. I was like, there's no way you would just delete the thing and retype it, or I'm sure you can edit it. I don't know. But, like, you don't misspell coffee like that. That's not what he meant. Nonetheless, you're making me want coffee, and I wish I had some coconut milk. Oh, shit. I don't have any coconut milk. Yeah, but it's not. It's actually I believe it's a chemical compound. I forget. It was because it was obviously last year or sometime I looked it up. Let's make kind of coffee. Let's do this. Let's get this started here. Let's get this day started. I'm not big into drinking coffee all the time, but once in a while. And I can't do honey in coffee. There's just something about it that ruins the flavor of like, I want sugar and cream and a little bit of chocolate. Sugar, cream, and chocolate. That's how I take my coffee. I like my coffee like I like my women. You know what I'm talking about? I like my coffee like I like my women. Ground up and in the freezer. If you guys don't have one of these are pretty dope. It's an AeroPress. You can do other things besides making coffee in here. You can make tea as well. You can, so I think you can do with it. Yeah, so some heavy cream, chocolate, and sugars. I'll be with you in one moment, y'all. It's really cool because you can get these replaceable screens, so you can decide how fine, depending on how fine the roast is that you put in there. You can get it to make an almost kind of espresso. Okay. Oh, and sometimes, you know, like what do they do? The bulletproofs, like butter and coffee. If I don't have, you know, I don't mind it. I like coconut oil or butter sometimes, but we got some cream. Almost there. And sugar. And some chocolate. He's about good to go. Because why not? I got this vodka from yesterday that I mixed up. Let's see what's going on here. Exactly as I suspected. Yeah, butter sweetens it a little bit if you don't have sugar. But for me, if I don't have, for the most part, if I don't have cream and sugar, I'm just not gonna drink it. Well, anyways. So carbonated beverage plus a coffee breakfast. Now I could really go for, see, this is why I need cafes and things to be open again, because it is Saturday morning. Right now, if I had my druthers, my preferences, I would be sitting at a cafe with a cigar, glass of wine, espresso. Yeah, cigar, glass of wine, espresso. It's a pretty good start. But alas, I gotta make my coffee here. And once I do that, getting to where I'm going, the coffee will be cold, and I don't want cold coffee. To go where I need to go to smoke a cigar. And then also, I can't get wine there. So it's like it's a whole issue. It's the whole issue. So, clusterfuck. Hey, who's here? What else is going on? I'm just making coffee, and then we'll get back to talking about something. Okay. All right. That is what my face looks like when I'm pouring coffee. Is anybody like really into coffee? Anybody here, is he really into coffee? Kind of like, if you got to brew it with, you brew it this way, you got to brew it with this. This is the best way to do it. And, some people prefer it drip coffee, some cold. Like for me, coffee is coffee, but if I really got to have what I want, it's going to be espresso made properly. Not this way, but I'll take it. And there's a bunch of reasons to make espresso. Because it'll have less caffeine, stronger flavor. Yeah. I'm all for the less caffeine too. Me and caffeine, no. Too much caffeine in Zen. You can probably find videos of mine. It's It's called Zen on caffeine. Yeah, espresso. What's up, Carson? Yeah, I'm making a faux espresso. A faux espresso, meaning it's not true. So no, there's no steam pressure and all of that good stuff. Carson, I didn't know you was in. I did not know you was in. Oh, you're saying don't give you alcohol? Okay, okay. You just had some wine. See, I would wish I had some wine right now. All I have is vodka, and I don't want to drink vodka this early, really. Oh, but a little bit of wine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, for me, wine is perfect because I'm already. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but my brain is quite active most of the time. I just have a good focus and control, and my breath to control that. But no, caffeine is no wine works for me because it's a nice mellow to everything. Caffeine, I'm like, am I walking too fast? Where are we? Coffee is espresso works though. Oh, Dave, yeah. Yeah, I heard this before. Cause acting all cracked out because they were giving them coffee or giving them processed sugars. Yeah, because the processed sugars, we were talking about this the other day, and people with diabetes, processed sugars are going to be called fast sugars. They're going to get into the bloodstream too quick. They're going to cause neurological firings and glucose going everywhere, glycogen levels all over the map, spikes in insulin, blah, blah, blah. Of course, it'll spaz out. Actual sugar fruit, an actual like honey, that this won't happen. But candy, oh yeah, that'd be all fucked up. What's up, Arcane? Yerba mate. Yeah, yerba mate. The first time I did yerba mate, I didn't realize how, like I made it like I would normally make tea. When I make tea, I over put in how much tea leaves you should, because I like a darker tea, and I almost like to brew it too long to get some of the tannins out and make it almost a little bitter, you know. And so, and by just using more, it's just a stronger thing. And so the yerba mate, I didn't realize how caffeinated it was. And the first time I drank it, I was like, "What the fuck?" It was definitely cocaine-esque to me. Yeah, the yerba mate is the one that normally you drink out of the with the straw. It's very high caffeine levels in tea, right? I'm on the same page, right? That's yerba mate. It's not. I don't mind the flavor. I like it. But you ever see how they originally drank it? These are the ones where you have the thing with the straw at the side, and you leave the tea in the bottom, and that's it, right? Yeah, they might as well mix that with. Funny enough, somebody just sent me a tea leaf with a tea a bag with coca in it. Not cacao, coca leaf. Enjoy your walk. Taking them out for a dump. Big healthy dump. Speaking of taking a dump, let me go get this. Let me go get this coffee. Let me get this coffee in order. Yeah, I love everyone too. I just don't like everyone. I've never found problems loving people. I have a problem liking people because it's liking is preferences. It's like thinking about food, fruits and vegetables. I love all fruits and vegetables. However, there are some that I just do not like. Do not. Oh, there we go. Water chestnuts, don't like them. Apples, for the most part, don't like them. Don't like them.
Apple juice? Oh, fuck yeah. Give me some apple juice. Applesauce? I'm on it. But, apples, fuck off. And people really be on some, I don't know, some vegetation. Nah, not so good. I don't like raw carrots. Raw carrots can go to hell. Cooked carrots? I'm all about that. The cooked carrot lifestyle. I could go on a diet of eating cooked carrots um, every day, all day, just to prove a point. Oh, speaking of diets, let's get into diets. Let's get into a show I was talking about earlier. With here, let me pour this vodka. Might as well. What the hell am I doing? We'll talk about this. We'll talk about Chad Ochocinco. And if you guys are not into sports, you may say, who is Chad Ochocinco? Oh, he used to go by Chad Johnson. Well, who is that? He was a wide receiver playing football. Perhaps one of the greatest ever. Um, he changed his last name to Ochocinco because his football number was 85. Funny dude. And also, pretty sure he's tribal, Native American. Right? And his grandmother. Okay, here's a little fun fact about him. Never missed a football game due to injury. Never. We'll talk about his diet. But he also was talking to some people in some interview about his grandmother who told him, if you ever have an injury, just soak it in piss. Yeah. So he'd have his teammates piss into a so if he twist his ankle or something, he'd be like, "Yo, everybody piss into his fucking piss in his bucket." They'd laugh at first, and he'd be like, "If you're gonna piss for the man who pays your paychecks, you're gonna piss for your teammate. You're gonna piss for me." And so, and you can find all sorts of athletes that drink piss or use piss for injuries and things. People don't acknowledge it, but they do. Lots of them, a good number of them. And so, but what was Chad Ochocinco's diet like? He eats crap, just garbage. One of the strongest, fastest, complete athletes. And good. I mean, just I don't know. What was he? 6'4", 230 pounds. Good looking, good bone structure, no injuries. Anybody he would get up and eat McDonald's, eat Pop-Tarts for a snack, eat garbage pasta. I mean, the diet that he would talk about eating just is trash, and other people are like, hey, this is what he eats. He goes, well, why don't I stay injured? What else? Well, that and some sort of attitude that he had, mental attitude, and put in work to be to be strong or fit. Talking to other athletes, so they're like, oh, I gotta change my diet. I can't eat all the garbage. I need to eat vegan. I need to eat blah blah blah. I can't quite understand it. It's so funny. So I wouldn't suggest everybody to eat a. You gotta go take yourself for a poo poo too. What's up, Mr. Mannion? Yeah, so look, I wouldn't suggest to people to eat like Chad Johnson, nor eat like me, because there is quite a good reason to eat what you consider healthy food, living foods, or cooked foods if they're underground, as we've talked about before, which will definitely instill the body to a higher vibe. But if you got the correct attitude as an alchemist, you can put anything you want in your body, basically. I mean, up to a point. And there'll be certain things that will just function better with you. Certain foods won't work well with you. Certain ones will. But across the board, if you learn how to process something and alchemize it and turn it into something else, transmute it. Just about anything you can. Some things you won't, you're just not going to be able to. You kind of accept that part of the physicality of it. But cheers to some vodka that I had from last night with, I do want to put a little sweetener in here, but vodka and lotus stamens. Very, very dry right now. Lotus stamens made it quite dry. Oh, and it tickled my nose too. Let me get some of this coffee here. I think I'm gonna go outside and play with ducks today. We'll see what the weather is like, but it is already sunny. It's all sunny and share out. We'll see about kayaking. Maybe I'll just save that till later. Rather probably wait until like 6 to kayak. It's a day for the ducks though. It's like 11. Cool. So what's up with everybody else? What are you doing, David? It's got to be like what, 6 o'clock there. Got to be 1800 1800 hours. Yeah. Oh man, the dryness of the lotus stamens. I really might have to kick that up a notch with something, some vinegar, some sugar somehow. What about everybody else? What's going on? Here, come back in the kitchen with me for a second. Let me fix this. Fix this vodka into something more proper. Make it proper vodka. Proper vodka. Oh, can I one-hand it? There it is. Yeah. I put you guys down for a second. Oh no, out of lime juice. That's not good. But we have lemon juice coming to the rescue. And we have ginger coming to the rescue. I think that should take care of the sweetness because it's already a sody pop. Start the day off perfectly. Okay. Back in the building. Could be a nice day for a stroll in the graveyard. Graveyard and ducks. You out for just walk? Are you just walking? Just walking? Beer in tow? Beer in toad? Man, that was so dry. It made my throat kind of tickly. Maybe this will help with the sweetness. Oh, you know what? I probably got one of these little. So these little stamens, part of the flower, and I in the mixture. That could be what's tickling my throat. Yeah, what else? What's going on in the world? I already did my
already did my morning what the F is going on in the world. I mean, every day, if you just watch the news every day, you have something new to just go, what in the F? That's all you really need to do. If you go if you just walk around, you kind of just stroll and your mind wanders. Watch the news. You can definitely have a lot to think about and talk about. Oh yeah, and try to scroll through the YouTube comments. Try to do that, or the Instagram, or any of these comments. Try to do that. But I've I used to be I used to try to involve myself in conversations, and then I realized quickly that's not a good idea. I do remind myself time and time again, once in a while. You know what I mean? Where I'll read through. I'm like, is this for real? People now these, and I have to quickly remind myself. A lot of these people are robots, and a lot of them are fake accounts, and the other ones are not. You can't help them. And so you read through, and you just go. As long as you put yourself at a distance from it, you can read it and just go, okay, I guess. I guess this is what people are being told to think today. I just hope they don't really think that. Like, they really do. I read an article 2 days ago that there was 10,000, yes, 10,000 volcanoes that occur. Was it no volcanoes? No, earthquakes. 10,000 earthquakes that just happened over the course of, let's say, a cluster, I think, of earthquakes that's going to cause a volcano in Iceland or somewhere. The headlines. Oh, here's what it is. The headlines too are as outrageous as ever, but then you read the articles and they don't really care what they say anymore. They don't care what they say in the news. They don't care. They don't care. Like, if anybody's been paying attention to American politics at all, and I've been paying attention a little bit to like British politics. God damn, if that fat, goofy dude that looks like Trump, but he's like all goofier. If that dude, like, that's crazy. Like, so we got the Biden guy who is, I don't know what the hell he's doing. Then you got the Jen chick who can't even speak. None of these people can speak to save their lives. Like, they don't even know what they're saying. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna not. Well, just. I wonder if they believe their own stuff, or if they're just like. So interesting. Like, I just don't think that, like, there's nothing new to say. Yeah, Terrence McKenna, Time Wave Zero. We're in a novelty theory. There's nothing new that can be done. So these people are so bizarre. Like, I feel like we're on this you're on the circus ride going. Or whatever circus. What's the sound of your circus? What's the sound of your carnival, your fair? Like, anytime the news comes on, basically they should just be playing that. They should all be wearing clown suits and just going. I don't know. Is there anything that anyone's saying that has any? It's so funny that we live in a time where literally comedians are. I mean, it's always been this way because comedians have been the jesters, the philosophers, the intelligent ones. But it's apparent where comedians, they're just saying regular things that shouldn't be funny. And then you have the other people that are listening to what's going on in the news and politics and all this. And they're going, that's real stuff, and that's serious, and that's how it works. And then you have a comedian that just points out the obviousness, and people laugh, and then people are like, oh, he's a comedian, doesn't know what he's talking about. But it's like, listening to comedians, I'm just like, most of the time I don't laugh anymore, because I'm like, oh, they're just saying an obvious truth. I don't even laugh at comedians. I laugh at politicians, though. What are these people even talking about anymore? What are they even saying? Like, they have
They literally have no. They have no chill. And it's like, at what point is somebody just gonna be like, do you know from Billy Madison in that scene when Billy is talking to that dude about business ethics, and he's like, after talking, he goes, nowhere in your incoherent ramblings did you even attempt to make what is a cohesive sentence. You know, he goes on this whole rant, and he goes, and I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Just basically just rips them apart. I feel like that every time these people talk, basically it's like that. I'm just like, what are they saying? Like, I think are they speaking another language that I don't know about? It's called completely moronic. I don't know. Are they literally speaking a different language? Because it doesn't sound like English. It's definitely not coherent. And then the stories they make up. There's so many logical fallacies. There's no logical sequence of events. There's so many what do they call them? Non sequiturs. You understand what a non sequitur is? It's like, it's like, have you ever listened to a child tell a story and one thing doesn't lead to the next? There's no sequence, so it's a non sequitur. That's how they write in all of these newspapers and on the news. They just speak in non sequiturs. They just like, here's hot button words, hot button words, hot button words, hot button word, words. And this doesn't make any sense with this, but let's just say this. And he goes, yes, well, you said, time for McDonald's. So what's going on with everybody else? What's your world looking like? I mean, do you think it's always been like, how long has the world like been this absurd? The absurdity. Do you think do you think the absurdities of the 20s, 30s, and 40s, was it just a different kind of absurdity, or is there something to do with the influx of televisions? I mean, radios were one thing. Radio's been around for quite a while. When did television start? You know, when did it become a popular thing? The influence, like I say, you got newspapers and radio. Like, so you got those media devices, right? Was it just a different kind of funny? Was it a different kind of silly? Was it as bizarre? Did we just get older and recognize it? Has it always been this insane? Now you see, huh? Yeah, when you were a youngster, you just didn't see all the crazy mixed up world. Do you see it now? But I don't want to see this crazy weird world that's so bizarre. I need like a monkey slapping cymbals together on a unicycle. Juggling pies. I don't know what. Like a clown running around. I mean, most people, it's kind of like if you've ever been to play. Have you ever watched crazy movies, or like, it's like, oh, this is bizarro shit. Like, don't worry, it's crazy. It's like the mind of say Tim Burton. Watch a Tim Burton movie. Watch something like that, and just how, like, you just can't imagine how, like this is like, now it's kind of like, oh, whatever. I don't. What else would you expect? What else would you expect these people to say? How people to act? How these people act? Oh, there's a great video of this girl going through a drive-through, right? Going through a drive-through. in her own car, has no mask on. Person in the drive-thru says, "You need to put a mask on." She's like, "What?" He goes, "Do you have a mask?" She goes, "Do I have a mask?" He goes, "Yeah, you need a mask." He's like, "Do you want me to give you one?" He's like, and she goes, "For what?" He's like, "You need to wear a mask." And the woman's like videotaping this, and I'm like, so she looks at the camera. She's like, "You have my coffee. Just hand me my coffee." He's like, "No." She's like, "So you can hand me a mask, but you can't hand me my coffee." He goes, "Yeah, you need a mask." And she looks at the camera again. She goes, "So you can hand me a mask, but you can't hand me a coffee." What is making sense here? What? There's so many. Oh, people are literally. I don't know. Are they just more trained? I mean, are they dumber? It appears dumber. Just. I mean, are people robots? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Yeah, well, yeah. See, I don't. You know what? I would go with who, Addison. I don't believe most of those stories. I don't. I think those are narratives that you're given. I don't think most of that happened. I don't think. I don't think all of those crazy stories. Not to the degree, anyways. Once you start once you start digging into most of these narratives, they don't add up. You know, start to get into who Genghis Khan was and who Pol Pot perhaps was, and the slaughtering of so many people, and like it's not really adding up here. All of them, especially Genghis Khan. You know, some of the pictures you read, he was red haired. He was a Viking. No shit. Then the rest of him, he looks like Confucius. He's like an Asian dude. What's going on here? Who wrote these stories? Or was it just a story, just written? Have we taken all of the fiction stories and turned them and called them nonfiction, and then turned all the nonfiction stories into fiction? Like the really weird stories that we read about, like the crazy shit. To me, the more I'm looking at it, the more that whenever I read books that are sci-fi or fiction, they seem to be closer to whatever the truth, if you look around, what it is. And when you read nonfiction books, you're like, this is all pretty garbage. This isn't how it worked. Doesn't look that way to me. So yeah, like even like that kind of Mongolians running through. Not that I don't suppose there has been slavery, indentured servants, serfdom, caste systems, wars, tribal and otherwise. Not that I don't think those happen. I just never think. I think the exaggeration is so severe, so much. I mean, who writes the stories? Who writes the history books? The winners. That's what becomes popular. And what kind of person that wins a war wouldn't exaggerate about it? You you have those friends that they'll tell a story that you were there for, and then when they're telling the story, it's so exaggerated. It's like Big Fish, the old story of Big Fish. I caught a fish, it was this big. Like, nah, I was there, it was actually like this big. And you weren't struggling to get it. It just you couldn't even handle a little fish, but it was this big. You know, that's the kind of. I don't know how many times I've been there for a story, and like somebody I knew would be, and every time they told a story, it would be bigger and bigger bullshit. Like, why? Just the story was already good to begin with, and they're like, well, just add these little bells and whistles to this. So to think that they don't do that in the propagated media sources, I think so. To instill, now from a psychological level, to control a population with more fear, terror, anxiety, or on the other hand, with all of the bounty of all the good things they've done. In one sense, ooh, the evils of this and the goodness of that. Perfect. Love this, hate this. I don't know what you mean, who, Addison? You go from the east all the way to Turkey, with a question mark. What do you mean? I'm saying, I mean, just think about it from from the stance of Tataria and mud floods and empires that we had no clue about, and you'd have to get into alternative research, and then you start digging into shit, and you're finding this, and it's becoming more and more obvious that the fires that happened in all these brick buildings back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, none of that seems true, does it? You can't start fires in those buildings. That's insane. You know what they don't tell you about mud floods, but apparently the more you look at it, it's so apparent. So I don't really find much of the history narrative very. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, I don't. I think it's just another narrative, because I can't find you much of that has been popularly given it granted to us as whatever's going on to be anything near the truth. Not through all the research I've done, and I put a few hours into it. And whenever you're getting on the back of people's that have gone into the the alternative history, that have already done the research, and they were like that. Some things are hard to buy, and does dig deeper into this theory. Oh, we figure out this person didn't exist. This war didn't exist this way. Oh, and there was an empire here that they completely try to whitewash off the map, and like right now, what are they doing? They're trying to eliminate the idea that Native Americans even exist. Why? How are they doing that? Getting rid of the Washington Redskins? Nobody has a problem with that. Now it's the football team? They're just going to always call it the football team? Just delete all of that shit? Delete the history of the natives ever existed? You can do that a lot of different ways. You only have to and take the children and put them into a new society. It only takes one generation to write an entire new script. Take children, put them somewhere else. They know nothing of their history. Nothing. They got nothing. So you tell them anything. Here's a couple books. You want to read about your history? Give them any books you want. You can't have anybody with generational wisdom, because they'll know. But yeah, man, I hear you about like the Silk Road and but everything just seems so much more gory, glorified, and glamorous of everything. What happened to all the ancient technology that was obviously there? Why so it seems like most of these things don't seem to fit into the very obvious alternative narrative of these giants. We don't have that in our popular culture, but almost certainly some big trees places. How'd they get so big? The question I ask everybody that really wants to play a game: where's the rest of the trees in the America, in America, the United States area, right? If I go to the West Coast, I can see the redwood forest. Do you know how big those trees are? Why do they exist right there, but nowhere else? Where are all the trees? What do the trees tell you as an answer to something? They don't tell you how old trees could possibly get. They tell you when those trees got seeded last. So if you see trees around that are about 100 and some years old, and you look all over the United States, as far as I know, as far as I've studied, you're not going to find too many trees that are much more than 150 years old. Some places you'll find some, But why just over there? The redwoods just grow right there, and they're huge, 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 gigantic. Nowhere else though. What aren't we being expressed here? What aren't we being told? Why do some cities have underground cities? How the hell? How the hell we came here whatever years you think we did, and we start building these towns and these amazing cities, and then we just somehow figured out how to start digging underground and building an underground city. The whole thing is unheard of, unbelievable, literally unbelievable. Not like when you say that's unbelievable to somebody, you're just saying that's a crazy hard story to believe. No, I'm saying I don't believe it. There's to say everything we've been given, especially in our history classes, has holes in it like Swiss cheese would be a complete understatement. There's nothing believable about anything we've been given. Kind of foods we need to eat. That's all. It's all trash. What these books actually meant. Who wrote them. It's all something. It's all funny. It's all fun and games till you get to take a dump from drinking too much coffee. So what time are we looking at here? I'm perhaps going to get out of here and go do some outdoor exploring. But I might be on here a little later. I'm sure I will be. So good to see everybody. Hope you enjoyed. And as you all know, if you do find it in your pockets or couches or leftovers of finances, currency, money, feel free. You can donate that to me. And I do appreciate it. TsarXen. That's at Cash App or PayPal. TSAR, capital XEN, TsarXen. Or there's a couple other ways, and it's beneath in the description. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you later. Yeah, and check it out. Good to see you guys. I'm going to go off into the world. Maybe I'll see you out there, and we can play some chimes and some ducks. And splash around in the water and be goofy. Toodles.